Hello and welcome to Radhaa Publishing House. I'm so excited to be here with Cristal Ortiz, and it's been a while, Cristal, hasn't it?
It has been.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey? Because you are one of our first authors that was in Awakening Starseeds Volume 1, and you just jumped in, and I just want to say thank you for joining us on that journey and love to just chat about that.
Okay, great. Yeah, so when you first found me on Instagram, I was like, is this a joke? Like, who is this lady? Who just asked you to come be such a part of like a such a big project like this? So
Mm,
I was a little skeptical, but then something was telling me, just do it. Do it, go with it. And I did, and here we are. And um I'm really happy that I listened to myself and I went with it. So
that's
it was like a really huge accomplishment for me. And thank you for that.
oh my goodness. I love that. I love that about you. I mean, we that was the first one we ever did, so we were just getting started and we didn't have anything else. Like we didn't have any other books, before this. So the fact that you just were like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but you trusted your intuition, and I think that's something that star seeds, you know, are really good at. Like we've probably been taught not to trust our intuition, but that feeling of um that inner yes. And how, like, as a star seed, how do you feel that inner yes, and how does that move you forward?
Well, at first, kind of, I've always felt different. I've always felt like there's something different about me. Maybe like where I've come from or the way I feel about things, the way I process things. But I had never heard the term starseed until you mentioned it to me. And then I'm like, what is that? So I did my own little research and started looking into it. I'm like, oh wow, like that's what that is. That's why I feel like this. That's why I process things this way, or just so many I don't want to say coincidences, but so many oh gosh, I can't think of the word right now. So many synchronicities. So many things that just have taken place in my life. It made so much sense to hear that and to piece that together. Um I feel like I rambled a little bit. What else was the question about?
Love it. Do you want to share a little bit about your chapter, because it's a really cool chapter?
Yeah, so my chapter was about when I really woke up to a lot of things that were taking place in my life at the time. And it really like catapulted me into a completely different direction. And I was in my dark night of the soul, and it was horrible. So to come out of that and to be coming out of that, and this book being an opportunity to write about that
Mhm.
was so therapeutic, and I feel will be so helpful to many other women that have possibly faced the struggle that I faced.
Mhm.
So my last paragraph is what I'm gonna share. So
Okay.
thank you so much.
Okay, well,
Yay!
that's a long book.
Yeah, this one got a little messed up from moving, but it's my book.
Yeah.
All right. So I have become a better mother to my daughters. I'm teaching them things I was never taught, especially of self-love and establishing a connection with the earth and moon. I am on a journey of self-healing that will bleed out into my daughters and heal all of us and generations after. This is the most sacred work I feel a mother can do for herself and her children. I've still got a long way to go. However, I am ever so grateful to the divine for sending me lessons of the darkness, for there cannot be day without the night.
Mm. Ooh, wow. such a strong ending, and that's so true. I love how you take all your wisdom of your life experience and you like transmute it. You're really giving your daughters, all the lessons and sharing that with them. And I love that your chapter is about being a starseed mother. It's like so sweet. And we were talking earlier about this, how precious it is that you have two beautiful girls, and also that it's probably very challenging, that it's a lot of work, and to be a mom, to be a starseed mom, to be a mom that's going through an awakening and realizations, and I'm just so proud of you because I've seen how far you've come, even from that chapter and to where you are now. Like, you got your training in sound therapy, sound healing, and you're helping kids. Like, you went to yoga teacher training and you're helping. Do you want to share about that? Because I'm kind of
Yes,
by it.
absolutely. So, yoga's always been a thing for me that I've loved to do, and I would do it, on my living room floor. And so last year I decided, you know what, I want to get my certification and let's see where it takes me. I had already completed the sound healing 1 and 2. I
Mhm,
do want to do the expert, but that will come with time. And so I got the yoga certification in the end of January.
mhm,
And I went on vacation to Colombia in the beginning. No, not the end of January. I'm sorry. I got the certification in the end of December. In the beginning of January, I went on vacation to Colombia
mhm,
and I came back. And a good friend of mine, Natalie, she was doing before COVID sound healing and yoga with special needs students
mm,
at a few different special needs schools. And it was just always very admirable. And so she's taken on more schools. She can't go to all of them herself, plus be a mom and do her tantra healing, her womb healing, her all her things that she does. Um, so she had put a post that she was looking for a yoga teacher. And I probably was the first one to respond. I was like, oh, me. I called her right away. I was like, me. I just got my certification and I have worked with children in the past,
mhm.
not special needs, but in daycares. And
Oh,
so I'm like, I don't think it will be that much harder. And honestly, it's not. It's so fulfilling. It's so rewarding. Anybody can benefit from yoga, no matter what your age is. But I feel with these students that they have a physical disability or they have maybe something that's neurological that they don't have the body strength that other children have, or they're nonverbal or autistic, higher or lower ends of the spectrum, whatever it is that these children have. Maybe some of the things that's wrong with them could be because it's a vaccine injury. Who knows? But these children, now that I've been going to their schools for a month now, they see me walk in the room and they just light up. And it's yoga time. And they like, with the children that are more on the lower end of the spectrum, we'll do little simple things like neck rolls, head rolls, um, maybe like some cat cow to get their body moving, and it helps their cognitive, it helps their thinking, it helps their mobility, their rotary and motor skills. So it's very beautiful even for them, the simplest of poses. But the sound healing for the kids that are on the lower spectrum is really what helps them. The vibrations and the megahertz, and especially the monolina that Natalie gives me to use, will lay it on the children. And it just has this healing frequency that heals on a cellular level. So it's very beautiful for these kids. They'll lay there with the monolina like across their chest or on their back, and they get this beautiful vibration that is just vibrating all the cells and helping them move around. And and it within the whole body. Um, and the kids that are more on the higher spectrum, I do give them a little bit of a challenge because they're capable of it.
Hmm?
They're perfectly capable of it. I have them do, three-legged dog, down dog. We'll
Yeah.
do um uh pigeon but laying back on our back. I've had them do wheel pose or standing shoulder. So these kids, they love it. They come in there and they're just like, and they like the sound healing too. Because at the end, I'm like, okay, it's time for Shavasana. And let's lay back and let our body process all the cool new yoga poses we learned and let them really stick with us. And I'll play like singing bowls for them. And I have a rain stick or like a gong. And there's so many more things I want to get. So we'll do that for them. And when I wake them up from their meditation, because some of them really do fall out, they are in such a relaxed state. Oh, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, bring your awareness back, take a deep breath, come sit up. I ask them how they feel. They'll be like, relaxed, or oh, I feel good, or and we close it, of course, with namaste. And they just eat it up. And it makes me eat it up to see how happy they are, to see that they remember the names of some of the poses and that they remember how to do them. And they're able to make integrations from one pose to the next. It's just so beautiful. The hugs. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The elementary kids and some of the kids in the high school, they come up and they just give you this big hug, and it's
mm.
so special. Like any hug from any kid is special, but my special needs students, like they just make me melt. They they are
Sweet.
everything.
I mean, so special. And that's why I'm in awe because like since the chapter and since I've known you, like you have like really skyrocketed in your passion and been very fearless in, moving forward. I know it's so
I
precious.
know I have makeup on. Don't do it.
It is so special. Like the work you're doing now is like life affirming for these kids, letting them get in touch with themselves, and it makes such a difference because I don't think, special needs children they're very bright, and they're more sensitive. Actually, they have more sensitivities, like their senses are so much more. So the sound healing, I can't imagine how good it is for them, and the fact that you're bringing this gift to these beautiful children. A lot of times special needs kids are also star seeds. They're really sensitive,
Oh yeah.
really sensitive. And it's almost like I feel like you just gathered yourself and you just stepped right onto your path and your purpose, and you took every challenge, because of course it's not easy to go to yoga teacher training or to learn a new healing, but you did it. And now you didn't just do it, you're implementing it in a way that's of service to others. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. And I just applaud you. Like I was like, we need to talk because this is so beautiful to see and exciting. And I love that a few of our Starseed authors are teachers, because I think teachers are so important, and different kinds of teachers, right? Not just one kind, but teachers have such an influence on children's lives and how they feel about themselves. And if you can give kids more confidence and feeling of safety and self-belief, like, you're helping grow a beautiful seed into so they can bloom later in life.
Hmm. I do. We do little short mantras. Um, uh, the what did we do the other day with my nonverbal ones? I do short meditations, a guided meditation. So it was about gratitude, and I
Hmm.
play singing bowls for them. Like it's just so healing for them. And I feel like the ones that are more nonverbal, that they might be the ones that are more connected to other dimensions.
Yeah.
And they really are. They, because people say, oh, physical or mental illness or whatever they want to call it, disability, whatever they call it. A lot of these people have connections to dimensions that we forget about, and they're in it. Sometimes they're even stuck in it and they don't know how to express that or to tell anyone. They're not crazy at all. And they're unable to express it because they're nonverbal. And a lot of times it shows up and they freak out, or they hit, or they scream, or they have a tantrum, and it's literally a 12 to 14-year-old child, but because they can't express themselves to say what's going on, or maybe something they're seeing
Hmm.
or feeling, or it's a lot. So I really feel that this is helping them and doing them such a service to help them to cope with those things as they grow into their adulthood.
So maybe they'll take on they'll learn how to do it, have something that they can think about or come back to. I think music, drumming is really good for kids. It's good for adults too. It helps balance the hemispheres of our brain. Like music is so important, and I love that, more compassionate, loving people like yourself are stepping in and implementing these. And I think it's really amazing that these schools are allowing this. Like, this is so good, like this is good news, you guys. Like, we've heard so much bad news. Let's talk about the good news. Like, this is great news that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible because schools can be very rigid, and I think it cuts a lot of people off from their true selves because of that rigidity early on, and putting people in those little boxes. And doing something that expands them is so beautiful and important, especially at that young vulnerable age, where they're heavily influenced. And I think people don't realize how much influence we can have on kids. Like, children are the future, and they're so sensitive and so moldable. And, it's really important for them to have good people around them that have their well-being in mind. So I just want to congratulate you for doing the
Thank
work.
you.
It's so exciting. Like, wow, that wasn't even on the radar a few years ago, and you've just manifested so much big blessings in your life and being of service. And now you're going to be in Poems from the Heart, the upcoming book. And I'm just so excited that it's like coming full circle, and you're going to be doing your poem about the goddess that you love and work with. And I think it's really, really special.
It is absolutely special. And I felt challenged at first. I know we've talked about this in the book workshops that we've done with the group. Like, because at first I wrote a little story about my experience. I'm like, how am I supposed to turn this into a poem? But I wanted to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure it out. And I just had the writer's block of the year. 4 months, months. Every time we would, do one of those workshops to help us, yeah, I would participate and I would come up with something to write from the words you give us. But I still had nothing
Mhm.
with my poem. And it was just ridiculous. I'm like, oh God, like, am I going to be able to do this? I started doubting myself. Like,
Aw.
it, am I capable of this? I really thought, and I prayed, and I took some flowers and some things that Yemena likes to the ocean, and I brought them to her, and I prayed, and I just asked, like, please help me.
Yeah.
Just, just please help me, please. Like,
I love that.
if with nothing else, just help me put something onto paper. And I kid you not, that same week,
Just
and it was the very end of December. I remember sitting right here in my dining room, like, okay, I'm gonna get out a notebook, I'm gonna get out my pen, and I'm gonna do it. It hit me like, you're gonna do it right now today, and this is what we have for you. My guides, everybody, God, whoever, all came in and said, you're writing this today. And I did it in 2 hours. I used my phone like, okay, I want to use this word, but let me look up other words that rhyme with this word. Because I really, really wanted my poem to rhyme. I know poetry does not have to rhyme, but I wanted it to. And it it flows. It flows so beautifully. Like when I finished writing this, I was looking at my notebook like I I was in disbelief with my own self, but it was beautiful. And I know I shared it with you as soon as I finished it. Like I have it. I have it. And
So
I'm sending it to you on Google Docs right now.
I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I knew you would, I knew it would come through you because it was meant to, but that's okay because that's how we break through is there's always resistance when we're doing something that we feel, like strongly about, passionate about. There's always resistance. Like that's just the way it is. And like I'm going back to school right now and studying, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of resistance like in all the studying and but then when I have a breakthrough, I'm like, oh, I learned that. Okay, got it. Then it's like, oh, I think whatever we put our devotion into, like it will come for us, but we have to keep at it. Like, don't give up. That's the whole thing. People give up so easily. And nothing in life is really like easy off the bat, like sometimes we have to give things our effort and we forget that it's through the grinding it out a little bit that's where the magic happens. It's our intention, it's us showing up and you showed up to all the calls and then you did it and it's so beautiful. I can't wait for you to read it at like after we publish it and share it because it's so inspiring and this is a poem that's going to go down in history. It's going to go down in the books. It's going to be there for, your ancestors that are forthcoming. And that I think that's so special. That's another thing that's special about this book. It's like not just for us, it's for our ancestors.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about it too because she's a deity within the Yoruba religion, Ifa, aka Santeria. So I feel like it's gonna be inclusive of so many people from that community
Mm.
because they're gonna know who she is and they already know what she represents, and it's gonna be like, wow, this is beautiful. And it's also gonna bring awareness to people that are not that
Yeah.
are not in that or are unaware and bring like a thought to it or consciousness to it and more open-mindedness to the different goddesses and different deities and different spirits that are here to help us.
Mhm. So beautiful. I am so excited. And I just, my heart is so happy for you and so proud of you. You're an
Thank
amazing
you.
woman. And I saw that right away. I don't know what it is, but I just see the light in people and I saw that light in you. And I was like, this is an incredible woman. Like I saw that you're a starseed. I was like, she needs to be in this book. And I just knew that you had great things in your future and you've been doing it and living it, not just thinking about it or talking about it, but you're all about it. You show up. And I just want to say how much I love and appreciate you. And I'm so grateful that we've been on this journey together and that we're picking it back up with poems from the heart. So thank you so much from my heart to yours. Thank
Oh my gosh, thank you
you.
so much. It was all supposed to happen. It was all meant to be.
It always is. It always is. So I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to put your information below in case anybody wants to reach out to you or get some sound healing. They know who to connect with. So until
Oh,
next,
thank you. Thank
much
you.
love and blessings. And thank you for tuning in. Also, I'm going to put the book below that she's in and the chapter that she did so that you have access to that and you can go ahead and read it if you'd like. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Bye.